All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to Yang Gang Fitness Talks. And today we have a very special episode today because today is actually episode 0 with none other than our co-founder, Steven, a co-founder of Yang Gang Fitness. So yeah, I'm here with Chaz today and we're going to be letting Steven share his story and how he came to, create Yang Gang Fitness and the whole movement. So Steven, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing okay.
Really
I'm really
good, really
excited to
good.
hear about your fitness journey. Since you're always talking to other people, we don't really get a chance to hear your side of how you're doing. You're always the one to post all the daily motivational posts, and you're doing so much hard work for the YGF community. And to see how it's grown over the past couple of months has been incredible. And so I'd really like to know how you feel about all of that. How do you feel about it now? What is it, like 3 months?
Yeah,
Hmm.
a little bit over 3 months. We all started hitting the road, hitting the pavement, hitting the gym in July, right? So
Yeah.
back when everybody was kind of just fizzling out in the Yang Gang, I think,
It
feeling
feels so much
stressed and
longer.
yeah,
It
yeah.
really does.
2020 has made everything longer.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Could not have said
Sure.
that better. So, where do you get your like what is your morning routine? How do you get up in the morning? How do you get into the right mindset for, I guess, being the daily start to a lot of people's mornings too?
Oh yeah. Um, I guess I mean really it boils down to just the alarm going off and standing up is the first step. Because I think that's probably the hardest part for everybody is just standing up. Like, I don't know. I try not to look at my phone at all. I turn it off and then I'm like, okay, up. And then I just start moving. And then it just kind of snowballs from there because I got to take the dogs out and sometimes I got to do the dishes. And then by the time I'm sitting down to the computer to write something for YGF, I'm like, okay, I have some sort of inspiration by that point, and it'll click in. Or I knew, source one of you guys for an idea if I'm
Oh yeah,
all
I'll just
tapped out.
randomly send you stuff. So you're basically like have your morning routine. I know some people like get up and like every day is different for them. Like the
No.
routine is just, completely different every single day, but it sounds like you have a pretty good routine down. I
Yep.
think getting
Get
into a good mindset in the morning makes a big difference.
yeah, I get up, put my headphones on, turn on an audiobook, fill up a glass of water, chug the glass of water, take the dogs out for a spin, and then come back in and do whatever I need to do for the day. So it's nice.
Nice, lucky dogs, they got that morning walk in. The
Yeah,
dogs
good
of
for them.
YGF.
Yeah, dogs are a big proponent of YGF. I think they're
That's very true. Our animals really are. They have a big part of our mental health too,
oh
right?
yeah.
Emotional
Mm,
support.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I've heard about that. But yeah, like so, and then you take the dogs out, you come back. I know you usually like to get a little workout in the morning stuff, right?
Yeah, now that I started the kettlebell swing challenge, I'm
Hmm.
so bad at doing kettlebells in the morning. I'm like so much better at running or
Wait, when did you
like
start
doing
this challenge? What is this challenge?
at the start of October with Daniel. He
Oh,
I did it once before back in April, but by the end of the challenge our baby came and so I didn't get to finish. It's doing 10,000 kettlebell swings in 4 weeks or a month. Um, and so I got to 9,500 and then went into labor. So I never got
oh,
to
so it's
finish the
almost like
challenge.
the creation of YGF, kind of like is at the same time where you had a newborn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
You had
fell
two
off.
newborns
Yep.
at the same time.
It's your other baby. Which
Yeah.
baby do you love more, Steven?
You know that's kind of unfair, but I gotta say my little daughter for sure. I mean, you can't beat that. But I do love
Yeah,
YGF. Very special.
yeah. We're a close second. We're a close
Yeah,
second.
yeah, yeah. Right
So
up
I'm
there.
really excited to hear about your fitness journey. You shared a little bit of it with us last week, and I was completely like, wow. I mean, you've been through a lot. Do you want to go ahead and dive into that? Where do you want to start?
Sure.
Maybe,
So,
yeah, start at the
uh,
beginning.
yeah, I'll just kind
Mhm.
of go through my whole life a little bit, I guess. I was very much athletic child where I tried out like every sport until, I had a lot of run-ins with coaches, that showed favoritism to their kids and stuff and
Aw.
kind of just only wanted to win. And I was like, I'm just here to have fun. I was the kid in baseball that played with the sand and the chalk lines. So I would just sit there on the field and play with them. And my mom was like, "You don't even play sports. You just want to hang out and with friends and stuff." So then when video gaming came along, I got to have fun with friends and not so much exercise anymore. So that was start of middle school, and I ballooned up in weight, and I don't know, maybe I was getting a little stagnant and having fun with friends and everything, but maybe a little sad. I don't know. Something like felt missing, and then my dad finally came in and asked me if I wanted to play ice hockey, and so I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to try ice hockey." And went to practice and started working out with them and eventually got way more fit by the time ninth grade rolled around to the point where like everybody at school was like, "Whoa, what happened?"
Was that something
Mhm.
that was really big? I know some cities, hockey is really big. Like where I am, it's a really big sport here. Was that the case for you growing
it,
up?
it is sort of. I live in near Huntsville, Alabama, so it's like the hockey capital of the South, we like to call it. Um,
Mm.
but growing up, there was only probably like 10 teams like in the whole area. Like, but it was starting to get big because a lot of people in this area moved down from the north. So like everybody on the hockey team, their parents were from like Michigan or New York or like bunch of northern
Aw.
cities. And so I got to know a bunch of northerners in a southern city. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah, and then the Mighty
Oh,
Ducks
that
came
sounds
out,
fun.
and then everybody was like
Yeah, and
hockey
then
Oh
everybody
crazy,
yeah.
street hockey, and so much
yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I heard hockey was like one of the most difficult sports because you just gotta have so many skill sets. You gotta like skate forward, skate backwards, know how to
Stop.
handle the stick, have the eye coordination,
Yeah.
like all that.
And you
Oh
definitely get in
yeah.
shape too. I think it's supposed to be ice hockey is supposed to be number two in calories burned, right under swimming.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, well,
Oh,
it's
I'm
like
not surprised by that.
yeah, it's crazy because like I was always taught by my dad growing up that if you're not tired by a minute on the rink, then you didn't go hard enough.
Really?
Because yeah, your shift should be 1 minute long, and you're just skating your heart out, and then you're exhausted, and you get off.
Does it feel like forever that 1 minute when you're on the ice?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've never experienced hockey myself, so I always wonder how like physically taxing that is on your body to be on the
Hmm.
ice, having to coordinate everything like that. I mean, it's such a
Yeah.
fun sport to watch. I enjoy it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. If it tells you anything, I was like a 200 plus pound seventh grader, and within a year, I was like 170s, 160s, like
Just from playing
just from
hockey?
playing hockey. I
Wow.
didn't change my
Wow.
diet or anything. I still ate like trash, but we practiced 2 to 3 times a week and
Hmm.
um, had a game once a week.
So were you an
So,
Huh.
enforcer? I want to know because
uh,
now
by
people.
by the end of the like high school was like the last time I played seriously, but by the end of high school, I was like the
You were a
guy that got on
backboarder.
the yeah. the guy that got on the ice to hit people because I was one of the bigger built guys. So, and I've
Do
got a
you feel like it
scar.
helped your I know a lot of players join to kind of like get the aggression out. Do you feel like
Yes.
that built up more, or that kind of helped you
No.
vent it out a little bit better?
I have always been like kind of a quiet person, but like when I got like super frustrated in hockey practice or game came around, I
You're like,
like
oh.
left it all on the ice. Yeah. And then when I got off, I felt like calm. Yeah. It was just like kind of that and, listening to rock music or punk rock back in the day really
Really?
kind
Punk
of
rock doesn't make me
calmed me
calm.
down.
It makes
Really?
me hype. It makes
You
me
never
hype.
you never just like jam down the car like punching your steering wheel and
Oh, you
stuff.
know what? You know
Yeah.
what? The Rolling Stones does. They do that for
Oh,
me.
there
Yeah,
you
they
go.
chill me out a little bit. That's true. Now that I'm thinking about it in that way. You said you
Uh,
got a
Hmm.
scar from playing.
yeah, I think it's on this side of my chin. Um, I got elbowed 3 times in one game,
Oh,
By the
and
same person?
I I never got their number because I was on the ground. In the third
Oh.
time, and
oh,
like I was bleeding, so the coach wouldn't let me go in, so I had to get it to stop bleeding, and I just kind of picked a guy that kind of looked like the one that hit me, and I took him out when I finally got to play a shift again.
I wonder if he was the right
Oh
guy.
I hope so.
man. Close enough. Close enough. But yeah, I know you mentioned you were like 200 pounds as a seventh grader. Like what was that like? Because I feel like even for me, middle school was the toughest time of my life, like by far.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I was a nerd. I wanted to be cool, so like it's one of those really awkward phases of your life, and I can only imagine like what that experience was like, and like was there bullying attached to that and whatnot?
Oh yeah, and
Uh,
that's when puberty hits and stuff. You're changing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's so overwhelming being
yeah.
a
It's
middle
yeah,
schooler.
middle school's the worst.
The
It is.
worst.
I think it's the toughest.
It is pretty rough. I have like vague memories. I have this benefit of my brain lets me not remember things, I guess. I don't know.
Mm.
But I do remember being bullied a little bit and a big crybaby. and, um, I don't know. I guess it did kind of change when I lost the weight. I don't, and looking back on it now, I feel like it was kind of a blur. I don't really know where the time went, but I do remember people being mean to me, and then kind of flipped the script and kind of became like a pseudo bully myself.
Mm.
And then I flipped it back because I realized what I was doing all in middle school, that 3 year window. It was just like people mean to
Wow.
me. Like I lost weight and gained a couple friends. I did like one mean thing and I was like, why is this cool? This is stupid. And then I like
Mm.
went back to being a kind soul. Like, but that memory haunts me to this day, like being like taking that action. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Do
I
you
think more
feel
people need
like
to look
it?
inward on that.
Do you feel like having that experience kind of shifted the way or how you value things? Like, do you think that I gave, like, for some people, for instance, it can be like a shot up to like being narcissistic because now you have this, slim body or whatever you've worked hard for? Or do you feel
Hmm.
like it kind of gave you just enough confidence, but also like the humility that comes with going through that type of experience?
Yeah, I think it definitely gives you confidence because people do, and kids especially, treat you differently when you have better looks and not like down and out all the time. But I think definitely the fact that I went through some of it and was just kind of following the leader who was a little bit of a bully. I think that did probably give me a lot of insight into like why would I want to treat someone like this when I didn't like it. So
Hmm.
maybe that's what got me and like keeps me. feeling that way to this day. Like I never want to treat someone like I did that day in post gym class, back in middle
Oh
school
yeah, you're like
when
the
all the
most mellow guy. You're so nice to everybody. Some
yeah,
people come out of those experiences, you can go either way. So, and look at you, you started a fitness community with that experience. So, I
yeah,
think you did pretty good.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
out here spreading positivity. So,
That's definitely one of the big reasons. Maybe getting in shape and looking good gives you some sort of extra boost, but you still got to be like keep yourself positive and helping people.
oh
Mhm.
yeah, take a
So,
page from our fitness gurus, right? We have a whole bunch of them in YGF. We're always just about making sure what's your why,
mhm.
like Dr.
Mhm.
like, Josh and Thane and Kyle, they're so good at that, like making sure you're focused on the right things when it comes to, and KT, oh, sorry, Carl. They're so good at
Yeah.
making sure you understand your why of things when you're, looking to lose weight, not just about just because you want to fit into a smaller size, really
Yeah,
taking a deep look inside. So
yeah, that can be
I
the
just love
first
our
step.
community. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great community for coming together and making a positive voice for the world for sure.
So when you were
Yeah, for
playing
sure.
hockey, I know you had mentioned about getting scars. And so where, you had mentioned something about ACL tears, and those can be so scary.
Yeah,
Mm.
so after hockey went away in high school, I kind of just did maintenance level work in college. Up until I got introduced to ultimate frisbee, like my last 2 years of college. And so I just by then I like was slowly creeping up back up into weight, and then I got into ultimate frisbee, and I was like, sport, that's another. So hockey was a sport where, I got rid of the stigma of like you have to win and we only put in the winners, because hockey everybody has to play. So because even if you have like the best players, they're going to get tired. So
Mhm.
everybody's going to have to change in. And then ultimate became the sport that was just purely for fun. So
Mm.
because you could just go out and grab like 5 beers and go throw frisbee and run
But
around.
until you posted that video about those ultimate frisbee highlights, I didn't realize how intense it would get. It
Oh, it's
was it
so
was
good.
crazy. I was like, wow, it gave me a newfound appreciation. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was awesome.
See, I'm not athletic in any in any bone in
Oh,
my body. So like just throwing a frisbee and getting it to go where I wanted to go, like my frisbees would go out past my fence into the neighbor's yard.
Oh,
yes.
same here.
It took me, I think, a whole summer after college. Me and a friend just threw like every day after work, and I got really good really fast. So it is kind of hard. You watch a lot of videos and you throw and throw and throw. But I maybe coming from hockey, like you said, is pretty hard to coordinate everything. Frisbee kind
Mhm.
of picked up a lot faster.
Oh yeah, and keeping an eye on that tiny puck. My goodness.
Yeah.
Even when I'm
Oh
sitting in
yeah.
the stands, I'm like, where is this thing?
That's one of the reasons I couldn't get into hockey because living in LA, like the Kings, they won like two titles.
Yeah,
And
they
I was
did.
like, okay, like I don't watch hockey, but I gotta support an LA team. And then I just kept getting confused because I couldn't see the puck go in. So I had to kind of base it off of like the players' reactions and stuff.
Yeah.
And when the players are happy and celebrating, I'm just like, oh, okay, yay.
That's why you
But
got
then,
watching on, I think it was like Growing Up Fox Sports or something. They put a little highlighted circle around the
uh-huh.
puck when you watched it on TV.
I
So
didn't
you
even
can
Oh,
know
see.
that would
that.
be great.
Yeah.
That'd
Now
be
I'm gonna
great.
tune into that.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, when the players start getting like rowdy, I'm like, yes.
That's what
Or
my
I'll be like
wife
at an
loved.
Admirals game or
Yeah.
something. I've been to like 2 Admirals games.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Gotcha.
we've got a semi-pro team and a college team in town, so I like going to theirs.
Mm.
And the Predators aren't too far to go visit, so I get to watch hockey sometimes. I'd love to
Nice.
play, but budget constraints. It's a very expensive sport. So,
Oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure. So yeah, your ACL tears, like tell
Oh,
us more
yeah.
about that. Like what? Because the only way I know about ACL tears is like, oh, that NBA player has an ACL tear. You know, it may be a career-ending injury, but like, you know, if they come
Yeah.
back from it, it's miraculous. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
tell us more about it.
They definitely have a benefit to where it won't, well, I'll go into that later, I guess, but they, you know, have more time to train it back up. So back to so ultimate frisbee came into my life. I started losing weight again, but not very quick. And I started to be like this slightly overweight guy trying to run around doing frisbee. And while it's really fun, it's sort of dangerous if you don't, treat your body right. And so,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of stop and go sprinting, kind of like soccer. And
Mm.
the first time I tore my left ACL, my friend threw the disc behind me, and I was stupid and tried to like stop immediately and jump backwards for it, and my knee hyperextended, and my
Oh.
ACL snapped, and I tore my meniscus. And
That just sounds painful.
it was really yeah, Mighty Ducks.
Oh, nice.
It was
That's a Ducks
super
jersey.
it was super painful that time. Nice.
Oh my God.
Quack, quack, quack.
Very nice. Yeah,
But
so what's the recovery process like?
so I went to get it checked out, and he was like, so first the doctors like work your knee and like feel
Mm-hmm.
around, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a tear. And I was like, oh geez. Because for my second tear, he felt around and was like, it might be a tear. But the first one, he was like, yeah, no, this is a tear. So we're gonna, you have these options. You can uh, not replace it at all, which
Mm-hmm.
means you're basically done with sports. Um, and you're just gonna have to like be careful and not turn as much or do any cutting. So that wasn't an
Mm.
option because I like my sports.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you can replace it with either your patella, your hamstring, or cadaver.
Mm-hmm.
So I had mine replaced with my patella both times because it's supposed to be the strongest and also the hardest to recover from.
Oh, I see.
But it's supposed to be the strongest and longest lasting. So um, the recovery was rough. Never been in more pain in my life since like the after, like the probably 3 weeks post surgery. It still hurts quite
Oh,
a bit.
wow.
Um, and physical therapy is just like it just starts out trying to get your knee to like bend again. 'Cause-
Yeah.
And then once you can do that, it's all about muscle building. So I've learned so much about building different exercises and like stretches and stuff to build the muscle to that supports the knee just because
Mm-hmm.
of this thing. Um, and now I keep a strong hamstring and quads and hips and all these different things for my running and whatnot. Otherwise, I would just my knees hurt if I don't do that basically.
Mm.
So now I'm basically forced to be fit. Otherwise, things start hurting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's just like a completely different side of fitness is like when you have to consider medically what you can do, sometimes you're
Mm-hmm.
restricted by your health.
Yeah.
And so how long has it been since then?
2014 was the rough year for me, and that's when I tore my ACL on my left knee, and then I was dumb and didn't do a lot of the PT probably a year after that because I was really getting really strong, and then I just fell off the wagon. So then in 2016, I went and caught a disc. It was an awesome D. I was so happy about it. But when I caught it, I turned on one leg and twisted my knee and snapped
Mm.
the other ACL in my right knee. So now it's been 4 years, and I've run a marathon on my knees and haven't had
Hmm.
any other problems. So
Never give up.
yeah,
Right there, guys. You heard it. Never give up. He had two ACL tears
And
and he
no
ran a
excuses.
marathon.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Your body can do crazy things, guys. Just keep
Yeah, it's
pushing.
not impossible. That's a, you know what I mean? That's great. That's great advice for anybody. Just hearing your story is that, you know, you can go through something that's life altering, you
Hmm.
know, and it's really up to you. Sometimes it's not, but
Yeah,
in this case, you know, you were able to overcome that. And so that's great. Congratulations on that. That had to have been such a tough journey.
yeah. That's why fitness has a special place in my heart for sure.
I
Uh,
bet.
Not just the working
Mm.
out, but I mean, like a marathon is all a mental game. Like once you get to I think it was like 18, 20 miles. It's all about just telling yourself you've already gone the 20. You only got
Yeah.
What's
you only got
what's
to
20
keep
more?
yeah, just keep pushing. So I
That's
forgot
so
to
Yeah.
true. The
mention it.
willpower, right? Mind over
Yeah.
matter.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
marathons and deadlifts I've found to be the two things that like the mental game as far as translating to physical is the hardest because you see the like when you get down to lift a deadlift and it's like the most you've ever done, it's so much more intimidating than any other lift since you're just picking it up straight from the floor.
Hmm.
So yeah, mental
Oh
games,
yeah.
conquer
I
them.
did some
Yeah.
weightlifting once and it is no joke.
Yeah.
Like this is my serious face. It's no joke. So I can imagine that having that mental fortitude really
Hmm.
comes in
Hmm.
handy right there, you know. And then deadlifts are very popular in our community too.
Oh yeah, it's a
Oh
good,
yeah.
well-rounded lift for sure.
Mhm. You were so
Yeah.
okay. So you were talking about your middle school journey and how you started. That was the start of your fitness journey. And you were
Yeah,
saying how you just like started hockey and then you lost all this weight, but you hadn't adjusted your eating or
right.
your diet. So how different is your mindset now from then with
Oh my god.
dieting?
Yeah, dieting is I don't know, like realizing how important nutrition is now, I think I would have been like so much better set coming out of high school if I was had my nutrition dialed in
Oh yeah.
cuz I never had like I was like I'm probably tied for most athletic now with high school finally, and it's been like 12 something 13 years or whatever. Um but I never got a six pack when I was in high school, even though I was like ripped underneath. There was always just a little bit of chub. And so now that I've dialed in nutrition and counted calories and learned all about that, and just kind of um, watched my body take shape again. I wish I had done it in high school because I was just downing 2, 3 plates of spaghetti after hockey games and going to fast food and having like those quad stack burgers and stuff and wouldn't gain any weight because I was on top of
Like your
yeah,
reward for a good game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because on top of
Yeah.
hockey, I was trying out for the soccer team, but I was never good with a soccer ball. But I still did conditioning with them, and I did marching band, so
Wow.
Marching band
I
is
was
no
always busy.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it from a fellow band geek right
Oh my
here, bro.
gosh.
That thing will work you out.
Oh yeah. Marching on asphalt in 90-degree weather over the
Yes.
Uh,
summer
Having to hold
is
up an
and all
instrument
that
and
gear.
play it coordinated.
yeah.
My goodness.
Oh
Talk
man.
about fitness.
I was just
Yeah.
glad I wasn't a sousaphone for sure.
Could you imagine being a tuba
Oh
and
my
having to
gosh.
carry that around in the
I don't know
heat
how
in
they did it.
Hawaii
Oh my
outside?
Oh
god.
my God.
Oh
Hawaii
my
with the
goodness.
humidity.
Or being percussion and
Oh,
carrying quads around. Oh my
oh
goodness.
yeah.
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 It's intense.
Oh, that is tough.
So
So
do you
Steven,
do
like,
go
oh,
ahead,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna ask, like, about your ACL stuff. Like, So it sounds like you would encourage weightlifting as a way of kind of preventing these sorts of injuries. Would that kind of be your takeaway from that?
Oh yeah, weightlifting and bands, like band training. A lot of people
Mm,
talk about the strength bands. So there's a lot of like hip movements and stuff
mm.
that kind of open up your hips and things for especially if you're doing a lot of sports. Um, so those are things that hugely helped in my physical therapy for recovery and kind of preventative now. And also your glutes. Glutes tend to be one of the most neglected things in prep for like running and sports and stuff because
Mm.
I guess people like the big lifts and forget the glutes. And I think the Glute Lab book that I occasionally read because it's like this thick, but
Oh
it's all,
yeah.
all about the glutes. And I think that points out that if you want a bigger deadlift or a bigger squat, make sure you're treating your glutes good and isolating those and building them up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
activating them too.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you're not really actually doing anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're not getting as much as you would if you didn't. I've
Right.
learned so much being a part of this community from you guys. There's so much I didn't even know. So much.
Yeah, it's fun. Cool, but yeah, so tell us about, how you found how you got into like, calorie counting, any advice on it?
Yeah. So
Yeah, how do you keep
'Cause
that
I know that
fun?
was
Because it's
that
not
was
fun.
today's tweet, right?
yeah, that was today's treat. So that kind of ties into why I am where I am today. After the two ACL injuries, I ballooned up again without realizing it. Um, so 2017, I was around 220 pounds, and I was like, how am I bigger than I was in middle school? And I was like, what is happening? Um, and then I, saw the Spartans march at the 300 parade at Dragon Con, and there are all these buff guys sweating, their six pack showing, and 300 gear. And I love the Spartan stories and the 300 movies. And I was like, all right, I'm like the biggest I've ever been in my life. I'm
Hmm.
gonna be one of those guys. And so it's been 3 years, and I'm getting close. Um, Last year, I dropped from that 220 all the way down to 179, I think it was, um, with just straight, calorie counting, essentially. I didn't know
Hmm.
quite what I was doing, but I was like, as long as I log this and I'm under the calories for every day, something should happen. And I didn't really change anything aside from that because even though I was a big guy, I was still playing Ultimate four
Hmm.
times a week, but I was putting on all this weight and I didn't know why. But I thought I
Hmm.
was like physically healthy because, and doing well because I could play 4 Ultimate games in a week. Um, no. so, so all I
I
did
mean,
was start, yeah,
yeah,
eating in
your
a
aerobic
deficit.
capacity, yeah, your
Yeah,
aerobic capacity was good, but it's just you're still in a calorie surplus, I guess. And I think
yeah,
that's what a lot of people they run into because there's this effect where people start an exercise program and then they actually gain more weight because like they went for a jog and they're like, oh well, I went for a jog so I could reward myself with
yeah.
this really tasty dessert. But it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, you could, but you got to make sure how many calories you burn while you're jogging, and then like
Yeah.
however much you eat, it's got to be a little less than what
Yep.
you burn, but you could still eat that dessert. Like
Yeah.
I highly, yeah, that's why I'm a fan of calorie counting. Was it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you should be able to eat that cheesecake. You should be able to eat that pizza, like whatever you really love eating. Just
Yeah.
just weigh out the right amount and then just make sure it fits within that calorie range.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm a huge believer in it for sure.
That's where the calorie counting probably saved me because, I said I was playing Ultimate 4 days a week, but pretty much 3 out of those 4 days after the game we would go to a bar and have some beers and some
Oh well.
appetizers
Yes.
and that whole game and whole day was just surplus, right? So it
Yeah.
just kind of creeps up on you. And I think I do vaguely remember, like, when I started counting, I did one of those days and I was like, I am like
When you see
plus,
it, right? You're like,
yeah,
yikes.
like plus 1,000 for the day or
Yeah.
something like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, time to take this serious. Like,
Yeah, I think for a
Yeah.
lot of people, you have to be really committed to wanting to know your fitness when you're counting calories. Otherwise, it's just completely intimidating type
oh
of thing
yeah,
to do. And then
Hmm.
once you see what you're consuming, it's really a question of, do I continue doing this? Do I give this up and
yeah,
introduce healthier foods? So really, then it kind of just gets into, this becomes your lifestyle.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's
And it
a
really is. I found that fitness is really a lifestyle choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I usually try to leave the calorie counting to the side until I have like a specific goal, because it definitely helps with that. But I keep a tally in my head now forever of like, okay, I know this is generally so many calories, and I worked out because once you do it for a long time, you can kind of generally know where you're gonna be if you
Hmm.
just want a certain level of fitness. But when I'm gonna try and hit like weight gain goals or weight loss goals, that's when I'll really get serious about counting. And I have to point out this comment by Bob because
Cheesecake for breakfast. Oh,
It's what's for
yeah,
breakfast. Oh yeah.
because
Mm.
sometimes before maybe.
yeah,
Yeah, I
before
definitely could go for a cheesecake in the morning.
hmm I actually funny story he mentions it before I started calorie counting, we would go on family reunions with my wife, and one of her cousins worked at a cheesecake factory type place, and he'd bring cheesecake,
Mm.
and I had cheesecake every morning for breakfast
Oh boy, don't you
while
gotta
we were
work with
out
it,
Wow.
there.
right?
And
This is a true story.
yeah,
What are the chances?
cheesecake and cookies are my weakness. As long as they're not in the house, I do a lot better on my diets. So,
Better
Mm.
to avoid than to resist, right?
right,
For some things we know we're gonna cave.
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
For me, it's ice cream. So when I crave ice,
Oh
I have a
man.
scale. I have a kitchen scale. So when I'm craving ice cream, I just weigh out how many grams I'm eating.
Oh
So that
nice.
way, like I know the calories. But yeah, that's why I highly recommend it. So you can eat ice cream and lose weight and
Yep.
eat cheesecake.
I like the
Yeah.
take of where you don't necessarily have to give anything up unless,
Hmm.
it's really doing harm to your body, like
Yeah.
high cholesterol or
Hmm.
diabetes.
That's
What I mean?
true.
When it falls into those medical, those categories, then yes, if it's doing harm to your body. But I really like the take that some of our YGF community has about doing things in moderation, not necessarily having to give it up, but just like kind of knowing your body and knowing, how much to eat, when to stop.
Yeah.
That's a big one,
Yeah.
before I get into binge eating. Because sometimes I can really like keep going sometimes when it tastes really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
for
that's
sure.
when the mind over matter really kicks
Right.
in. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
sometimes it's
sure.
about recognizing some habit loops in your life too, because the other night I haven't played video games in forever, and
Hmm.
my friends invited me to play video games the other night, and I just brought snacks and started eating without realizing it. And I haven't played video games in like a year with them, like late night into 1, 2 a.m. And I was just snacking, and I was like, what am I doing? I never do this anymore. And it's just because that habit in my brain, I
Yeah.
guess, is clicking, and it's like, bring food with you to the computer because you're gonna want it. And
Yeah, one
yeah,
big thing I've learned from our community is a big part of fitness is learning and reading and getting information. And the
yeah,
more information you have, the more knowledge is power.
yeah,
Then you can kind of map out your goals and have a plan. A
right,
lot of people sometimes are so quick to jump into, a new fitness routine and not really like, for me, like I didn't really know what keto was. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It was just like
Hmm.
all the rage. And I was like, okay, maybe this is the new thing we're doing now. Let's like, jump on this boat, whatever. But then not really realize what you're getting yourself into, or knowing the difference between, like the different diets that are out there too. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
knowledge really is power.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of which, Bob just left a comment. He said, "I keep to a low calorie day. Yeah, I only really eat breakfast and dinner, so I eat at 8 a.m. and again at 5:30." And that's kind of like, well, I guess it's a variation of intermittent fasting a little
Intermittent
bit, right?
Yeah.
fasting.
Yeah, because a
Yeah.
lot of folks I know they skip breakfast, for example, or
Yep.
some people they do the whole OMAD, like one meal a day. You do
Yeah.
you do
No, I do.
intermittent?
Yeah, I do. That's how I lost some weight recently. I'm kind of cutting it out now because I want to make some strength gains. So I'm not quite
Hmm.
worried about burning off fat. Um, well, burning it off to make muscle, sort of ish. But um, yeah, I did a little bit of cutting over the summer, and all I did was
Gotcha.
start skipping breakfast and
Hmm.
giving myself that 8 hour window to eat in, and it helps a lot. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was mostly just like a lunch around like noon that's like decent size, and then a pretty big breakfast, or not breakfast, dinner,
Do you
to
ever
kind of
like
help me through.
hit that wall where you like plateau and then you're just like you're not really making any gains anywhere? Like how do you I'm sure all of us have experienced that.
Yeah.
Is there
Hmm.
one in particular that sticks out to you where you kind of maybe pushed through that?
Well, the marathon for sure, but I don't know if that was like gains per se. I had never ran a marathon, but I'd say in the gym working out, probably my bench press plateaus pretty quick. Um, I got to work on that more whenever I get to use the gym again. Stupid COVID, but
Yeah.
um,
Messing everything up.
yeah. So that's probably the lift for me that plateaus first. I'll always make a lot of gains in the other departments, mostly because I've never gotten my body into like the very max I've ever seen it. Because something comes up to where I can't lift again, whether it's COVID or gym membership runs out and I can't go back. But one of these days I'll have a nice squat rack in my house and I can just see
Oh
how
yeah, those
high I
are
can
some
plateau.
goals. They can
Yeah.
be really expensive. Yeah, they can be. Well, no,
Yeah.
they're definitely expensive. What am I talking about?
Yeah, right now they're insane.
Yeah, and
It's
they're
like,
sold out.
yeah.
Everybody's got a home gym now.
Yeah.
I had to build one.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Same.
you got the sweet life with the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have kids yet, so I guess I can make the space for that for the
Yeah.
time being.
I
But
I so far I have a nice spot in the garage picked out. It's waiting. I just need the materials.
Oh yeah, it's
yeah.
definitely a different experience when you're have a home gym and you have kids, because most of the time, I don't know if maybe for you, but I have to find like after they're asleep, go and work out, and then like I can't blast music like I usually would,
Yeah.
because you're asleep.
Yep.
So I'm
Mm,
like working
Yeah.
out in the quiet, and I'm
I've
like,
got my
oh yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
yeah, I
oh, I
got my
got your
kettlebell
kettlebell.
Yeah,
waiting
there you
for me
Nice.
go.
after this interview. So I got a date with that tonight. So as soon as baby girl goes to bed, yeah, I do my workouts now. It used to be in the morning because I like working out in the mornings, but for some reason kettlebells just work better at night. I don't know why.
Well, you find what works for you, right? And
Yeah,
then you get
yeah,
into your routine with it. So, I mean, whatever works for, I mean, I used to work out in the morning too, but I found that doing it at night was a lot easier. I
yeah.
definitely wasn't getting interrupted as much during my
Yeah, for
workouts
Oh
with
sure.
yeah,
naps.
because you
For
know
So,
they're
sure.
going to bed because it's bedtime, right? So
yeah.
you
And
don't
it kind
know
of
when
like
they're gonna
helps
wake
you
up.
wind down too, like, especially if
Mm.
you're doing, like, let's say, like a yoga session,
Oh
or
yeah,
something that you like need, that calm and that
That
quiet
space to
for a
yourself.
second. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you don't even need kids to feel that way sometimes too,
Right.
Sometimes you just be busy and you're with whoever you're with during the day. Being able to wind down, being by yourself really helps
Yeah.
you recharge too sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's why mornings grew on me and I took so naturally to it because my wife is not a morning person.
Mm.
So she
Mm,
will not get up with me. And although shows interest into it because she knows it's the best time to like get something in because we're always busy at night and
mhm.
afternoon, but she just does not like waking up. So that's always kind of been like a solo run time for me. So, um,
Yeah.
and especially while she was pregnant, she couldn't do as much because we used to work out at the gym all the time together. But you can't lift heavy weights, when you're pregnant. So I just had to go to the gym solo in the mornings.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's definitely a 9 month breather.
Yeah.
For, I mean, you're already creating a whole person.
Mhm.
Your body's
Yeah,
like
for
enough.
sure.
Yeah.
So let's
Gotta
talk a little bit
focus.
about our community. Have you picked up some really good advice? I mean, I know I have, but what are some things that have really stuck out for you from our fitness
Man.
gurus or just our everyday posters?
Yeah, oh, Bob's pointing out a awesome achievement. 100 pounds with his cart keto. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Uh,
knocking it. I just don't understand it enough to say anything about it or
right.
do it myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing that came up, talking about keto more. I already had my doubts about keto. I had a brother-in-law that did it, and his experiment with his own body was interesting because he was doing it for the MCAT because he was studying to get into med school. And he was
Mhm.
like, the theory behind keto is that you go into ketogenesis with no carbs, which means it's harder for your body to crash from those carb high spikes, from like sugar
Mhm.
highs, basically. So he was
Mhm.
like, I don't want that to happen. I want my brain to stay focused during the MCAT. So he trained his body for like 3 months leading up to the MCAT to get into a keto state. And he dropped like so much weight. And he was like, I don't think I'd ever, he doesn't think he'd ever do it again unless he needed to. But
Yeah, I know
he
a
was
lot of
like,
people
it's not,
who've done it, who've experienced a lot of progress, but who end up course correcting at the end of it because it's not really something that you do as a lifestyle
right.
Mhm.
or for long term. It's kind of like one of those things you dabbled in for a bit. Yeah, that's what
Same with
I've
Yeah.
my
noticed
brother.
pattern. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
my brother lost a ton of weight with keto, but then yeah, I mean like as soon as he started eating carbs again, it came
It's
back
like
up
Right.
the
and
the extreme part of it, if you need kind of like that kick in the pants,
Yeah.
to really focus, I guess, you're
Yeah.
dieting and really paying attention to what you're eating. But then from there, I notice a lot of people don't continue with it.
Right.
And I'm
mhm.
not sure the full reason. Maybe they find something that works better for them. I know it doesn't
Right.
usually go for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely temporary in my mind too, especially if you're gonna be full ketosis state. Because a lot of people say they're on a keto diet, but they allow in like minimal carbs, so it's really just a low carb diet.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
but another thing was like that comes up quite often is a lot of the whole plants food diet. That's
Plant-based.
like,
Mm.
yeah, and that's always tempting in the back of my mind, but I love meat. So I've tried to incorporate meat less in my diet because of Yang Gang Fitness, but um I do find it very fascinating and it's led me to watch a lot of like YouTube videos on people who follow that diet, and there's
Mhm.
especially this one couple on there that to get on the plant food diet, they decide to do 2 weeks of nothing but potatoes. And so I
Oh,
was like,
potatoes?
yes,
Wow.
You
potatoes
better
for 2 weeks.
drop that in the chat later. I want to know what this is, the potato people.
Okay. Yeah, I'll drop that on the YGF
That's
outlet.
crazy.
but that was pretty interesting. I don't know. Apparently, they were mimicking. Who was it? It was one of the famous comedian
So
guys.
like, did they like have like a baked potato? What else can
Just
you eat for
yeah,
mashed
that's about it.
potatoes?
It had to
I'm
be
trying to think
plain.
tater tots.
So no, just a plain potato is what it
Just
had to be.
plain.
Wow,
Yeah, for 2 weeks, and
that's
I was
some
like
mental
crazy.
fortitude right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not do that. I
Same here.
just
Yeah, I love potatoes, and I don't think I could make it. Maybe a
I'd,
week. I could
I'd
do a
end up
week on
cutting it
potato.
up and making French fries. I would fall off so fast.
Just get all the oil in there.
Oh no, you know what has been such a blessing is the air fryer.
Oh yeah,
I don't think I've touched oil
you do
in
like
the last 3 years.
so the air fryer doesn't do like a little bit of. I thought I used like just a spot of oil. It fries it
I don't
without
use
it, huh?
any oil
That's
ever.
awesome.
Hmm.
I mean, sometimes I might use some water, maybe like some olive oil,
Oh, okay,
but that's it. Like just a drop of it. Like I don't really, it doesn't
that's
really need
awesome.
it. Yeah,
I
the
need to
air
use our
fryer
Yeah.
air
can just
fryer.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got those standard appliances when we got married, and the air fryer
Yeah,
was one of them, and we've used it like twice. I need to
yeah, kind of like
break
my
that out more.
Instapot.
Oh, we love the Instapot. Talk
Oh, I
about
use it every week.
yeah, talk
Yeah.
Hello,
about
recipes.
yeah,
Send them
Yeah.
over to me, please.
okay.
Yeah, I'll share it because
We've
my wife
done.
and I, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was real quick. I was gonna say we've done cheesecake in our Instapot. It was good. Just
A
Definitely
saying.
lot
send
of
that one
things.
to me. Oh, I said that
Yeah.
on the air. I don't eat cheesecake.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
What?
tell us a little bit about like what are some things that you've picked up from our community that maybe you incorporate into your everyday now?
Well, less animal products. Back on the kettlebell swing challenge. Kind of using that to kick myself in the butt. Aaron's gracious running club. I have
Oh yeah.
some miles logged thanks to tonight. So,
Nice.
but maybe one of these
Mm.
days I'll be first place. I don't know. Or running's been kind of secondary right now.
Yeah. You gotta dethrone either the Heckendorns or Bob. Bob is the
Yeah.
he's the upstart.
Dude,
He led
Ryan
a
and Holly kick our butts every
I
week.
no, 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 but
Yeah.
Bob led a
Yeah.
rebellion this week. He
He
was like, I
did.
will not go down.
He won. Yeah.
Yeah, he won. So, but I think it like on it, it says like 0 days and 19 hours.
I'm like, it's
Wow.
on the first day.
Yeah, he got it on the first day. That was
And I've got
hilarious.
like maybe 1 mile, and I'm like,
Uh,
the one day I did like a bunch, like a pretty decent amount. My Nike run crashed. I
oh no.
was like, really?
Oh,
How are you
Oh,
gonna do that to me?
oh
dang.
man,
That's
that's
brutal.
painful.
Oh.
Uh,
Painful.
but yeah, there's been
Yeah.
a lot from YGF that's been coming out and not only influencing me, but hopefully influencing the whole community.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
for sure. I was about to
Yeah.
say, like, yeah, I really appreciate it, and I've enjoyed all the guests on YGF Talks,
Yeah.
and like every perspective that they bring and stuff. So I think it's just what is it? Because I feel like you know, everyone tends to be a product of their environment, like for good or bad. And so
Yeah.
whatever's in your environment is gonna push you one way or another. And then I think YGF is just it's another like factor in everyone's environment that just kind of nudges them the right way,
Right.
So
Yeah,
I
not
think it's a
left, not
force for
right,
good.
forward.
Forward,
Right.
exactly. Exactly. Oh,
Oh.
I'm so sorry. That is me. Hold on.
Oh man.
What did we come up
Ouch.
with? Math, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make asses toned
and
something
hot.
and hot. Toned and hot.
You can use that for like for anything. I mean, math is so, you can just like switch it around for whatever you need it for, really.
Yeah, and it's just math. That's good numbers. And he's back.
I don't know why the fire alarm went off. We're not cooking anything. It just went off, so I had to go press the thing. Hopefully
the,
it doesn't go off again.
the conversation was too hot for your
Too
detector.
spicy.
Oh man. The
So,
Oh, Jackie's in the chat. Hi, Jackie.
hey,
what's up, Jackie?
out camping.
Camping.
Nice.
Oh, yay.
Oh, that sounds
Hopefully,
so fun.
hopefully getting a lot of hiking in. I love hiking while I'm out camping.
Oh, yeah, Katie's out too.
Is
Everybody's
she?
out in nature.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's
I've been
awesome.
posting. That's
I,
awesome.
I've got some friends trying to get me to go bike packing with them, and we've got a trip scheduled in November, so I'm pretty excited
Ooh,
about that.
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, I've never done it before. It should be exciting. So that's sadly gonna be cutting down on my running more because I gotta train for biking.
It's all
You
good
need
as
to
long as you're
stay
moving.
focused. Yes.
Yeah.
As
It
long as you're
all
moving,
counts.
all
Oh, good.
counts.
They're going 4 miles a day. Nice.
Awesome. I
Wow.
bet her goats miss her. Always getting
Probably.
the pictures in, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just kind of want to maybe switch to talking about YGF more for sure. It's been a wild ride since July, and I feel like,
Yeah.
October is pretty crazy, but we're still making efforts to, push positivity out and come up with new ideas, um, and look for volunteers to, make those ideas reality.
Yeah,
But
it's getting there. I mean, I think sometimes we forget how new we are, because it
yeah,
feels like we've been doing this forever, especially in 2020, a
yeah,
week can feel like 10 years. But it's definitely been a bright spot in my year. I'll tell you
good.
that much. It's been a big bright spot in my year. A nice, um, kind of spot away from the political talk all the time too. It's kind of a safe place to just not talk about politics 24/7, which is
Yeah,
nice. That's all we talk about now. I think
yeah,
this year has been full of it
yeah,
in more than
Yeah.
one way.
yeah. I never
Oh
knew
yeah.
that creating a Twitter account to follow Andrew Yang would lead to really heavy politics to having this account and not knowing what to do with it because Yang's out, and then
Yeah.
just kind of going down the toxic rabbit hole, and then a fitness community going back up. So it's been
Yeah.
pretty great.
Yeah, this month is very stressful for everyone. I mean, we're all kind of just sitting and waiting for November 3rd.
Yes.
Hurry up and come around, and then after that, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, what now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Hopefully
it's
YGF can be there for some people, whether they're happy or sad.
yeah, and we will be. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the
For
foreseeable
sure.
future, we're not going anywhere. So we are definitely in it
Yeah.
for the
I think
long haul.
I think we
Yeah.
need some new fresh challenges for people. We haven't had a celery juice drinking in a while, but
Well, you said it first.
I love celery juice.
I didn't even have to
I've
bring it up.
I have 4 in my fridge right now.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. Did you just say you love celery juice?
I
It's
love
so
celery juice.
bland, man.
I know, but it's so good for your digestion.
That's
It
a
is so
trigger
good for
word
your
for
Oh,
Steven.
especially especially when I eat unhealthy over the weekend a couple times and I'm just like, all right, I gotta go pick up my pack of 5 celery juices and then I can start the Mondays feel clean again.
A thought
that's
that has
awesome.
never ran through my mind. We are on different wavelengths there.
Oh man, you guys are missing out.
I
Hey,
just
I tried
started
it.
to like kombucha.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
kombucha
I
is
love
Yeah.
good.
kombucha.
Oh, so good.
Such a
It's
good
like
Yeah,
substitute for soda
kombucha's
too.
good.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah, it
great
is
replacement for soda because it's still
because
fizzy.
it's carbonated.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I would because I was like, oh, it's all vinegary and whatever, you hear. But then if you try the right flavor, it can really change the way you think
Yeah.
about it. So,
Did that come out of
Uh,
Yang Gang Fitness for you? Or
oh,
was
for
that? Oh,
sure.
nice.
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah.
nice.
All the ladies of YGF are
Oh,
big
nice.
fans of it and would talk about it all the time. Be like, okay, okay, I'm gonna try it if I see it, and then finally I did. Hey,
Did
there's
you
some
Yeah.
good stations out there.
are you considering making your own yet? My
No,
wife
I'm not
did
that
that for a
advanced.
while.
Mm-mm. No, I wouldn't trust myself with fermentation. Let me try kimchi first.
It's always good.
Yeah, flavors everything with kombucha for
Yes.
sure. It's an interesting thing that like some of them like there are flavors I like and flavors my wife likes, but we don't agree on which ones are the
And you
best.
know what? That works out
It's
great
so
because
weird.
you won't drink each other's.
Exactly.
That's
So it's
true.
safe.
True. It's
That's
true.
awesome.
I also did water kefir for a while. That's like it's kind of like kombucha, like mini kombucha, but it's a daily thing.
Huh.
Where like
Oh, yes, snacking
you
is
feed it
like
sugar and flavor it.
I like
I've
But
sugar.
seen it at Trader Joe's, and I'm always like, should I try this? But then they have like mango flavored, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't know.
Oh, mango's so good.
Maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe I'll give it a go this weekend.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think earlier just Mike C. He said Yang Fitness re-sparked my faith in social media, and
Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
like when
so
people say that, I don't think they realize how much it means to us.
hmm
Because I mean, sometimes they can just be like, nobody is participating, and you're like, does anybody hear me out there?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it
Yeah.
really feels good sometimes to get the feedback from the community and just know that, it's making a difference somewhere.
Yeah.
This is really, I think the goal was when this started was, we wanted to improve everyone's mental health, physical health,
hmm
Yeah.
lifestyle overall,
While using a
yeah,
platform that, normally isn't geared towards that. So,
Yes, and it's so
mm,
wholesome. Like, I'm
yeah,
so proud that it stayed so wholesome for so
yeah.
long.
yeah,
I think it really helps
yeah.
that I have the separate account that's only for it
That's
rather
true.
than because
That's
my
true.
my main account isn't very wholesome all the time.
Oh,
So,
yeah, sometimes, we all get spicy.
Yeah. Sometimes we get feisty, but I
yeah,
like that too.
right.
Yeah,
But
but
it
for
was
the
because like
for the sake of our
yeah,
fitness community.
Right.
but yeah, no, I liked your interview with New Progressive Voice, and it's
Oh,
like
nice.
because on one end we can we can fight for universal healthcare or talk about healthcare and stuff, but on the and that improves people's lives too, from the top down. But then on the other hand, we can improve people's lives from the bottom up,
Yep.
UBI style, just like
Yeah,
making sure
there you
everyone else
go.
is making sure everyone else is having a healthy lifestyle. And of
Right.
course there's different things that like that healthy lifestyle won't necessarily ward off, but we could still minimize just like the sheer number of health problems we have in our country
Right.
just by
Yes,
that.
that's so
So
true. And then
Yeah.
yeah.
also balancing the negativity out with positivity,
Yes.
hmm
That was
you
one thing
know?
I wanted to bring up in the podcast, but I don't think we had time. Was that both the negative getting outweighed by being a positive voice and trying to get everybody steamrolling. Because I mean, we haven't really trended per se, but I think we've trended among Yang Gang at least. Um, and then also like the endorphins that Yang always talks about with the social media giants and stuff, and how the apps are geared towards like that feedback mechanism. Well, if you can use that to inspire people to do fitness, why not, right? So
Yeah.
if we can get somebody who lost 10 pounds 50 likes on Twitter when they've never gotten 50 likes before, that
Oh
might
yeah.
Hmm.
encourage them to get
How much
more.
that does for someone's mental health too sometimes,
Yeah.
but then also to make sure that that's not the why of things or of why they're posting, like
Yeah.
really, that's why I really push for like thinking about the mind, the body, and then like the emotional part of fitness, because it all ties into each other really.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And that's why I like when we talk about mental health too, because it also affects your physical fitness.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you're not feeling good, if you're feeling like especially pumped that day, like how like contagious that is, and you put
Yeah.
that out into the world. And we have a lot of people in YGF who are very contagious with their positivity,
Oh
you
yeah.
Hmm.
know. And I think I notice myself, I push people like that a little bit more, like retweet and push it out a little bit more because it's so contagious, it catches on.
Yeah. Yeah, once you see
Yeah.
something that could be truly inspiring and positive, you gotta like fight for it to be seen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So that's kind of what having this online platform, this social media platform, has been good for,
Yeah.
is kind of
Hmm.
refocusing back on positivity. Really, I
Hmm.
notice I check myself a lot more too when I tweet.
See?
How's this gonna affect such and such? A little bit more self-aware, I think. And then
Right.
Hmm.
your emotional intelligence, I think your points go up a little bit sometimes too when you're a little bit more self-aware. So
Yeah.
that's been the upside of this too. So
Yeah.
like overall, how do you feel now about your fitness journey from where you started to where you are now?
I feel like it's still kind of in its beginning stages, honestly. Um I know like one thing that's also come out of YGF is that we have had some personal trainers that we've gotten to talk to, and they've also said that, trying to help other people and train them every day, they lost kind of some of their fitness. And I'm doing really well with YGF and keeping my fitness going. And I think that's because I'm not training, I'm kind of trying to inspire by leading a more fit life. So I think that's added a new aspect to my whole training regimen and kind of like restarting and just the beginning of something that's going to be even maybe I'll get my abs this year for Sparta. So
Make sure you
And
post a
that's
picture.
the big difference,
yeah.
right? Between
Oh,
being like in charge and being a leader is when you're a leader and there are people that you inspire to follow because you are doing it first.
right.
So like, I just really want to take a moment, on behalf of the entire YGF community to just tell you how much we appreciate you creating this community and continuing to sacrifice your time, to pushing it every day. Like really, I don't know where we would be without YGF, really, especially mentally, definitely physically. So just a big thank you from all
Oh,
of us.
I really appreciate you guys helping out because it's definitely intimidating trying to make a lot of noise by yourself, but with friends and people that believe in something that can cause a positive voice, it really helps.
Yeah, with friends they can get rowdy, right?
Oh yeah, you guys gotta come to the next time we do a workout Zoom. That was actually really entertaining.
Oh yeah,
That
I'm
first
always in a
test
drunken
run.
Zoom. Yeah, I should switch it up probably.
It was pretty intense. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad, but I think it was one of the best workouts I've had in a while. As far as it was like basically a hit workout for like an hour. So it was
Nice.
good. We're gonna have to try it again. I've got some ideas on that. I think I messaged a couple people about it. So Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think I really love what you guys have been doing with taking it off of Twitter because I think sometimes, because we created it on Twitter, we feel like we're stuck there. But
Yeah.
with doing like the Zoom workouts and having more events together offline, I think that also
Mhm.
helps take care of our mental health for sure.
Yeah, because
So
then you don't have that
definitely more of
clogged.
those.
Yeah, you don't have that clogged feed and only a sprinkle of YGF. You have
Oh
a whole
yeah, hard to
hour
get
of
away from it now.
YGF. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
Cool.
Well, I really enjoyed hearing your fitness journey. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. I
Yeah.
mean, what an incredible story, really.
Yeah, I
Especially
learned a
the
ton,
two
man.
ACL tears and how you overcame
Yeah,
that. I mean,
Yeah. It's not easy.
yeah. No, and then
uh,
just your persistence of like, like gain weight but lost it through hockey, gain weight but lost it through frisbee, and just like it's that motivation to keep pushing yourself even with a kid. I mean, it just kind of makes us all. It reminds us we don't have any excuses, right? I mean, you've got a kid. You're about to swing your kettlebells late at night, so
yep.
you know all of us we don't have an excuse to do anything else. And it's like what? It's like 9 p.m. right now over there.
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're holding us
9:15.
all accountable right now.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
better
you're
do
holding
some
your.
push-ups or something.
Yeah, you're setting the standard. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for your consistency, your daily posts, and just like, just keeping this thing going. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I promise I won't eat cheesecake in the morning.
Just not every day. You can
In
have it one.
moderation.
Yeah, in moderation. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, thank you guys again. And
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Thank you to everyone who stopped by in the
Oh
chat.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for
It's always
joining,
so nice.
guys.
It's always so nice to see what you guys have to say. And you guys motivate us too and keep us going. So thank you so much for tuning in.
For sure. And if
Uh,
there's anybody out there that wants to be interviewed by us, send us messages.
Open
Holla.
invitation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Good
Peace.
night.